Alright, so in this video we're checking out the SOFIRN HS23, and this is a pretty nice headlamp. So real quick, everything you get in the box, you get the head strap, of course, and it's a three-way head strap, so one goes around and one goes over the top, and then the headlamp, the flashlight, goes into these rubber straps. We'll put that in here a little bit later. A couple of spare O-rings for the waterproof rating, and then you get a USB-C to USB-C cable for charging, and here is the user manual. Take a quick look at that shortly, but here is the light itself. You have three different, or several, actually four different modes, I believe. So basically you have a spotlight mode, floodlight mode, a mode that turns on both spotlight and floodlight. That's why you have so many LEDs here. And then you have a red light mode. And on the bottom here is the charging port. USB-C there with a nice little waterproof flap. The battery is on this side over here. We'll go ahead and pull that out. So spare O-rings go there to make sure it's maintained as waterproof. And in here we got a 21700 cell SOFIRN branded 5000 milliamp hour lithium ion flat top. Can't see in there, but there is a spring on the other side. You can see that it bounces a little bit there, just hold in place. You got nice black powder coated CNC aluminum here, one button operation here on the top, and then you got Shure LEDs all along here, I believe. Let's see, let's just go ahead and, well, I'll turn when I go through the lighting modes, I'll show you which LEDs light up. I basically believe this is the spotlight LEDs, floodlight LEDs, and then the red light LEDs are on the side there. But yeah, it looks really nice. And again, this just goes inside the head strap, and it's just pretty basic. It'll just go in like so. But I want to put that on later after I show the basic operation. But a quick run of the specs here before we do the quick test. So as you can see, there's all the different modes. So you got a spot and a flood, spotlight, floodlight, and then a red light mode. And basically have like an eco or a moonlight mode. And these are the lumen levels and runtime, so up to 350 hours on spotlight and floodlight mode. Same for spotlight and floodlight separately. And then all these different lumen levels for both. Obviously for both modes on at the same time, that's 6 LEDs, that's going to be the most brightness. And on the maximum turbo, you get 3320 lumens for 2 minutes, and then it'll drop down to 1000 lumens for an hour and 55 minutes. And then if you just run the different spotlight and floodlight mode separately, you get a lower level of illumination there, and it drops down, say 2044 for 3 minutes, dropping down to 984 for 2 hours. On the spotlight, floodlight's a little bit different. It's 2044 for 3 minutes, and then 700 lumens for 2 hours and 20 minutes. And you can pause the video if you want to read the rest of the different levels. We will show you what they look like, but I'm not going to read off the entire chart here, but you can just pause the video if you want to peruse all those. But obviously, as you go from low to high, the lumen levels will increase. IPX6 waterproof rated, 1.5 meter drop distance. Weighs 180 grams. Takes 3.5 hours to charge. 89.9 by 41.5 by 32.5 millimeters in dimensions. Alright, so I'm going to show you how these LEDs kind of works. Let's kind of turn on the moonlight mode here. So it's long press. This is the spotlight mode. You can see more difference in the outdoor demonstration, but if I switch it over to the floodlight mode, it's different LEDs. So I'm going to turn it off. I think it defaults to low instead of moonlight. So there's moonlight. So the floodlight is the bottom 4 here. I'm going to turn it off. The spotlight is going to be the top 2 here. And then both of them together, 6 LEDs. And then the red LEDs are on the side. So there's these 2 here. So basically the red LED is going to be for those who do like night photography or astrophotography. You want to be able to see stuff in the dark, but you don't want that to affect your eyes in terms of your pupil dilation. That's what this is mainly for. And so this is one of the better ones I've seen in terms of red light illumination. There's just different modes, this one as well. We'll get to that in a second. Let's start off here in the spotlight mode. So basically you have to start off here, long press to go into moonlight mode. That's the lowest level, or the eco mode. And then you can long press to go into the different modes above it. So low, medium, high, and then double press takes you into turbo. Then press again to go back down to high, press again to turn it off. If you want to go straight into turbo mode, you double press the button. There we go. And if I switch to floodlight mode, it's going to look a little bit different. The light's more spread out. So again, moonlight mode or eco, low, medium, high, and then turbo, and then back down to high and off. And for both modes on together, we will start off in eco mode. And there's low, medium, high, turbo, high, and off. And then turn on the red light mode. And in the chart you saw that there's no eco mode, just it starts in low. So here's low, medium, high, and turbo, and off. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take this out to the dark field again, and let's see how it performs. I'm going to actually put this on my head, and you'll be able to see how it looks as I move around side to side in the outdoors. Alright, starting off in spotlight mode, and here's eco. Can't really see anything. There's low, medium, high, and turbo. Alright, here's the floodlight. Moonlight mode or eco mode, can't see much. There's low, medium, high, and turbo. Here's both of them together. Not much again on eco. Low, medium, high, turbo for both. So definitely can see a lot more. And here's the red light. Low, medium, high, and that's the maximum. So you can see a bit of the tree there in the maximum red light. Alright, so I thought I'd put it on my head and do a first-person perspective here. This is the spotlight, and I'll just aim it at where I'm aiming it. Aim the camera where I'm aiming the light. This is the, I think, high mode. So let me go ahead and push this into turbo. Alright, so it's turbo on the spotlight mode. Quite bright. I switch it to the floodlight here, so it's more spread out in terms of the light. And there we go. This is turbo on the floodlight. As I'm looking around, and point the camera at what I'm looking at. Very nice. And here's both of them together. Back to turbo. Quite bright for everything here. Anyway, it's going to cover my video for the HS23. Questions, comments, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.